guys, today see SQL and NoSQL. SQL is a structured query language and NoSQL is a not only SQL. And database provides the methods for designing and managing data, and it's how own set of characteristics and use cases. And SQL and NoSQL are two type of database management system that differ in their data models, schema flexibility and scalability and use cases and all. Today we have to see in this video. This video is what are the difference between SQL and NoSQL. Okay, first see SQL. SQL is a structured query language, and first see data model. And SQL is a relational database, and in this data model can store data in table vises and like columns and rows, and one table can be related to each other through foreign keys. For examples, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL servers and all. And then SQL schema, it is a structured schema and predefined schema. Tables have a fixed structure, and that means data type and columns must be defined upfront. For example, we have to take one student. Students will have name, numbers, mail, and name data type is a string, and number data type is an integer, and mail data type is a string, and that must be defined in upfront. And then scalability. SQL is a vertical scalable, and you scale by increasing the resources on a single server like CPU and RAMs and all. And then query language, and uses structured query language for querying data. And SQL provides powerful features for querying and joining and aggregating data and all. And then ACID principle. Typically it follows ACID properties. ACID means A is the atomicity, and C is the consistency, and I is the isolations, and D is the durability. The explanation of ACID: atomicity means all or nothing transactions, and then consistency means guarantees committed transaction state, and then isolation means the segment and transactions are independent, and durability means committed data is never lost. And then use cases, and this main use cases is it's used for solve the complex queries, and then transactions and bank management and relationship between some data and all. And next NoSQL, and NoSQL is a not only SQL and its data model. And not only SQL is a non-relational database, and its data stored in document based and key value and graph based. For example, MongoDB storing data for document based, and radius is a key value, and Cassandra is a white column, and Neo4j is a graph based. And then NoSQL schema, and it is a schema less and flexible, and the data can vary between records. For example, in document databases like MongoDB, each document can have a different structure. Okay, for example, MongoDB. And then scalable, it is a horizontal scalable, and NoSQL is better suited for handling large scale applications. And in this horizontal scalable, you can scale by adding more servers to distribute the load across multiple machines. And then query language, it's a no single standard query language, and query method depend on the specific type of NoSQL database. For example, MongoDB uses a query language that involves JSON like syntax, and Cassandra uses Cassandra query language. And then CAP theorem, and it allows to follows the CAP theorem. C is the consistency, and A is availability, and P is the partition tolerance. And then we have to see this explanation of CAP theorem. The CAP theorem states that your distributed systems can only provide two of the following three guarantees at any given time. And C is a consistency. all the servers in the system will have the same data, so anyone using the system will get the same copy regardless of which server answer their request. And then availability, and availability is the system will always respond to a request. And then partition tolerance, and the system continues to operate a whole even if individual servers fail or cannot be reached. Okay, and then this use cases, and this main use cases is it is used to the large we have to building the large applications and all it is uses, and then the social networks, and then IoT and big data and all it is used.